Hello, and welcome back to Randomly Generated Conversations, the podcast where we take a randomly generated topic and we see where the conversation goes from there. I'm Wesley Sellers, and I'm with my son, Bastian Sellers.
Hello.
And remember, this podcast is on Apple Podcast, it is on Amazon Music, and it is on Spotify. On Spotify, with each episode, we have a poll. Please participate in the poll. Let us know what you think and your opinion. Today's topics are: what is your favorite home-cooked dish? If you could start any business, what would it be? Tell me about your dream house. Do you prefer talking over the phone or face-to-face? If you were stuck on a desert island, what would you have with you? Alright, so what is your favorite home-cooked dish?
Home-cooked dish, like homemade, basically?
Yes.
Your lasagna.
The lasagna. We're going back to the lasagna then.
Yep.
Okay. What do you like about my lasagna?
Just how you make it different than most, like, the store-bought stuff. Store-bought stuff, it's okay. But how you put your own little twists in the food.
The lasagna noodles are twisted. I don't lay them straight. I lay them twisted. That's what he's talking about.
No.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to put, with the ground beef, I like to put chorizo and some other meats in there and make it
Perfect.
delicious.
Delicious.
My favorite home-cooked dish. I really enjoy stir-fries or curry. And sometimes I'll make a curry stir-fry, right?
Yeah.
But I'm probably have to go with curry there. When I have the time and the chance to make it, I do a curry with coconut milk, so more of a Thai-style curry. Sometimes I'll make a green, sometimes I'll make a red, sometimes I'll switch it up and put the green and the red together.
You can tell he's the cook in our family.
And sometimes I even enjoy turning the curry into more of a soup and have a curry soup, which I think turns out pretty good too. It tends to be a dish that all the kids will finish. Many times when I make something, there's that one kid, it's different with each dish, who just will not finish it. They take a couple bites and then they say, I'm full. Then a half hour later, they're pouring themselves a bowl of cereal because they didn't want to finish the dish. But that's one that seems to be a crowd pleaser for everyone. I also enjoy making pozole. I make a pretty good pozole. It's funny because my wife is from Mexico. Yeah, I do most of the the Mexican food cooking around here. She's just there as a judge, right? She makes some really good stuff too. Not discounting her ability to cook.
I make good quesadillas.
I just enjoy cooking. Yes, you're very good at making quesadillas. You burn them sometimes.
Yeah. I make desserts. I'm the dessert guy.
Mm-hmm. I like making pozole, and I like making mole. I remember trying to follow a recipe for mole, and I'm not one who can follow a recipe. I get a general gist from it, and then go with my own instinct, and that usually ends up pretty accurate, is how it's supposed to be. But I remember looking at some of the recipes and ingredients for mole, and it seemed extremely complicated, and the list of ingredients was extensive. And I remember eating mole with many families over the years, and it didn't seem like they had used that much of the ingredients. And so I started to kind of break down the flavor profile and, oh, well, here's the things I like it, because mole can be many different things. It has a wide variety. I mean, it's basically a chili sauce, but some people have it more peanutty taste, like a peanut buttery taste. Others, you can't even taste that in it, and it's more chocolatey. Others, you don't even notice the chocolate in it. And I tend to do a kind of a mix of all of them. There's enough of the hint of the peanut taste in there, as well as the chocolate has a more chocolatey, cinnamony taste to it, along with the chili sauce of the mole. And um, I took in, I remember making it for the first time and letting my brother-in-law try it, who's also from Mexico. And he was really impressed. And then the biggest challenge was when I made it for my mother-in-law. She's going to be pretty picky, of course, right? Because she is the Mexican chef, you know, the person who grew up making these dishes all her life. But when I got the thumbs up or the nod of approval from that, that's when I knew that I had achieved my life goal of being able to impress the mother-in-law with a dish of food, right? But those are probably my favorite. I cook a lot of things, but usually my area of expertise falls in the soups, stews, chilies, or sauces like that, more than other fried or baked goods. I mean, I do make a pretty good pizza as well.
Pumpkin pie.
I do make a good pumpkin pie. I do have what we've dubbed around here the famous pumpkin pie. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of expected that I'm going to bring it to family get-togethers, and I have to make it every single year.
And everybody's looking forward to it most of the time.
Everybody looks forward to it. As well as with the pizzas, I've kind of figured out some tricks with the dough and all that. But in general, I think I kind of lean more towards making the soups or the stir-fry type.
Yeah.
All right, so that really didn't answer the question as what my favorite was. I just kind of gave a menu. So,
but I still think it worked.
Yeah.
It did say curry.
If you're coming to my restaurant, at least now you know the menu. You could choose from one thing.
Coming to you in 31. In the year 3131. Probably not going to be alive for that long.
That's the funny joke around here is I can make good food until I'm cooking for somebody else. Whenever I go to cook for somebody else, I didn't like the pumpkin pies or whatever that I've been making for years. But if I go to make a big pot of pozole for a get-together or mole for multiple people, then it never seems to turn out.
Other than when we go to like the parties and stuff.
Well, even with those, it doesn't usually turn out. At least not the way that I would have wanted it to. So, no restaurant coming soon. I'm sorry. You have to be an invited family guest. And we usually don't invite anybody. Not because we don't want visitors. We just don't know anybody to invite.
That's true.
Alright, so moving on from that sad tale. If you could start any business, what would it be?
A bakery.
A bakery?
I love to do like baked goods and stuff. Like make bread and make different things like that. Like, so there's different bakeries that'll make like cupcakes and stuff. Like cakes for birthday parties.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to do that. Like,
you do know that most bakeries, they wake up at like 2 a.m. to start baking, right?
I don't care. I'd be okay with that. Like, seriously, my end goal, I want to be like a prosthetics engineer, like I've said before.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be so much fun to own like a bakery and have like a family bakery where I could like leave it to my kids and they could take over the bakery at some point.
Kind of like have a side thing.
Yeah.
Making
it's just my favorite thing to bake, like baked goods, bread, and different things like that.
Okay. Well, If I could start any business, what would it be? Well, it just happens that I am in that transition, right? Moving
Yeah.
to be able to uh, work for myself. We actually own a couple businesses. For a while, I would answer this question with, if I could start a business, what would it be? And that was business advising. I had worked in that for many years, and that was a passion that I had. Watching small businesses succeed and helping them have the right tools that they need. And so that would be my answer. However, here it's if you could start any business. Well, I've already started doing that. We also do custom embroidery as well as other other things in that area. If I could start something else and have the bandwidth or the strength to carry it out, I'd probably help you with your bakery, right? Make cakes or pies and
bread,
sell them. Bread,
I'd
pizzas.
love to make bread. That would be amazing to like have these fresh loaves of bread and give it to people that like when they come and buy this. It's like, I did that. I made this bread. These people are going to enjoy it. Oh man, and once people enjoy it more, they tell other people until like you're very busy and you're like, hey, look, we have a bunch of customers. And some days it may not happen where money might be tight at some point. So that's why maybe doing like my prosthetics thing at some point later would help too. So I could still cover for the bakery and I could still do what I love.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I think I wouldn't want to own a pizzeria. I wouldn't want to be baking pizzas all the time, right?
No, I'd get old. It would get old fast.
But if I could do a pizza catering company where instead of every single day baking hundreds of pizzas, I would get these orders that would come in. Hey, we're having a party here. We want some pizzas for this party. We need 20, 30, 40 pizzas for this. And it was the jobs here and there. I think I would enjoy that. Something I enjoy doing, but wouldn't want to do day in, day out every single day. So kind of more of a catering activity than pizzeria.
Yeah. With me, the best part about like baking and stuff is I haven't done this before and I really want to, is designing a cake. Like going with what pops into my mind, because different things will pop into my mind sometimes. I'll have like inspiration, oh my gosh, that looks so cool, this and that on like a cake, or if I made like a loaf of bread that had like sweet bread. I don't know how to explain it, but like some sort of sweet bread, but it had like design on it. I'd love to do that. Like, I have these random designs that pop in my head, like, okay, I want to do this and this and this, but it never goes great on like a piece of paper. But I can usually do it with, I have Minecraft figures, and it's like, you know what? Might as well start making some things with that. I have little scenes I do, and it's just, yeah, it's something I'd love to do.
So what I need you to do then is to make a literal cupcake. Right? Make this little cake, but in the shape of a little cup. It could be like a teacup or something, but it's cake, so it's a literal cupcake.
That'd be really cool. A potted plant cake?
Ooh, and then they have their little tea parties, and they have their tea and their cake right there all in one. They go take a sip, and they're actually taking a bite out of the cake.
Exactly. Or you have the cake in like the middle, and the cup is like this chocolate that like you can use. So you have like the tea there. You drink and you can have the cake, and you can still have the chocolate too if you want to. You take a bite out of the cup. Like, that's what pops in my head sometimes. I thought of a potted plant cake.
Okay.
You have like a little pot, like with chocolate, because you wouldn't be able to do that with all cake, because then it would just collapse. You do like the hardened chocolate on the outside for the pot. Put cake in the middle, like chocolate cake. Then have like these little either I wouldn't say frosting. I don't know how to say it.
Like a fondant?
Yeah,
Maybe.
fondant, whatever, something, a way to like that it's sweet still, but it looks like a flower or a little plant.
Yeah, that would be made with a fondant.
Yeah, it's a big passion for me.
Okay. Talking about passions, tell me about your dream home.
My dream home?
Mm-hmm.
Even though this might sound weird, you guys have I know what your guys' is, but for me, it would be like, even though I wouldn't have money to afford it, like a log cabin mansion.
Okay.
Like, more like the wooden looking, and like with different things, but still like a bigger house so I can have different rooms to put like my instruments in one room, have my gaming room somewhere else, have a basement where I can have like this projector in my seats, so that if I like invite my friends over, it's like, hey, we're gonna go see this movie that just came out. But we want to see it before it comes out, so we're gonna try renting it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, do that.
I always wanted, when I was little, I always wanted to live in a log cabin, and I mean, it'd still be awesome. But I think my idea of a dream home has changed. So right now, I see acre of land with a house, more of a rambler style, so it's not as many floors, with a huge kitchen. That's my main thing. I want a house that has a fully stocked kitchen where I can move around. I have multiple stove surfaces, multiple ovens. I have all the kitchen equipment I need kind of there at my fingertips without trying to move everything around to find space for it. And a place where I could just create. I mean, if I'm going to a dream home, it would also automatically wash all the dishes for me, right? But then that would be the house. Then we would have outside, we would have a big barn. It would be a ways away from the house, but it would be used for parties, for receptions, for other get-togethers, as well as even like tranquility retreats for businesses. You'd have stuff outside where they can do team building activities, and then have kind of the tranquility stuff inside, whether it's yoga, Pilates, or other meditation or other stuff like that. And then to have an office there on site, not inside the house, but another building that's small and aside, so you can actually leave to go out from the office, and you're stepping outside of the house, and to work from there, to record from there, to do consultations and stuff from there. And then to have a couple buildings in the back, small little buildings that are all set up for tranquility and meditation. Rooms that people could rent out, and they could have that peaceful area where they can go, and it's a safe place for them to meditate, to think, to write, to do whatever they need to do to help relieve the stress of a busy day.
Yeah.
And so I'd have my house, but then off to the side there would be the area of work and all that. There'd be the barn, and then these rooms that could be rented out, and then the office there, which would be the main point of coming into either the barn, because they'd go through there for the rental or whatever, and it'd have its own parking lot, and then the pass through to these other buildings, and make it all kind of separated off with a fence from the house, but make the path a tranquil path where they could go there even at nighttime. Allow people to rent it in the nighttime, and as well as have a very lit, very serene path to these places, and have just this place of tranquility as well as a place of celebration there. And then in the house itself, be able to make what I want to have. I don't even care how big all the other rooms are or anything. I mean, some people are like, well, I want a pool, I want this, I want that. No, as long as I had a big enough kitchen with all the kitchen tools I need, I would be happy.
Yeah. And I thought of a cool design, like, for your path. So you can have, like, the little rock path. Not exactly rocks, but, like, the little stepping stones. And then you have, like, those arches that have, like, the little flowers, but they have the little lamps. So at night, the lamps go off.
Oh, that'd be cute. Like wisteria arches.
Yes!
Or clematis or something. And it has little lights coming from the vines or however. Oh, that would be gorgeous. Yes. One day, support our podcast and watch this come to life. All right.
Fund my bakery.
Do you prefer talking over the phone or face to face? I'm going to answer this one first. I would say face to face. I hate talking on the phone. I feel talking face to face, I can see when somebody's losing interest. I can see their reaction to things as well as I can understand them better. When I'm talking to them over the phone, sometimes I have to ask them to repeat themselves because something is lost when I don't have the visual of their face. Even when I'm meeting with people for work, it's nice to be able to see a visual of them. Or I prefer to have that meeting face to face when possible. I've had to learn to be more open to phone conversations because probably 80% of what I do, it does not allow for the face-to-face communication because we reach distances, right? We're in a world where your business and your clients are not just those within your geographic area. They're across a whole country or sometimes even across other countries as well, international. And so I often don't get that face-to-face as much as I would like it. However, that is 100% my preferred method, is to be able to sit down with somebody face-to-face and really get the nonverbal feedback while I'm talking. And I think that helps, and I believe I'm able to reach those clients better in those scenarios anyway, because then they could also read off of my nonverbal cues.
Yeah. I would also go face to face because it's really weird talking on the phone. Like texting, it's okay when you're like texting your friends, but all of a sudden you talk to them in person, you're like, what do I say? This and that. When you're texting and you're like, oh, I know what to say, this and that. But I would also say face to face. Now, we're not counting video chat. Because technically, that would be face to face, but it's still on the phone. And you can't read verbal cues as much when they're cutting out. It just gets annoying when they like cut out and all of a sudden you don't know what they are saying, and it's just like, oh, the internet connection's gone.
Right. And
it's
sometimes
not face to face.
That video chat as well just leads to awkwardness. So even though we're comfortable face to face with somebody, doesn't mean we're comfortable in front of a camera.
Yeah.
And so that being uncomfortable in front of a camera, and especially when we can see ourselves there on the video chat, I think takes away from the face-to-face as well. If it's between face-to-face, phone call, and video chat, my preference is face-to-face, then phone call, then video chat. I prefer, like, video chat, I don't mind seeing the other person, but I don't like being on video. Because I get very self-conscious about that, and I feel like I'm spending more time worrying about my image on that video, and, oh, am I sitting up straight? Oh no, I'm leaning too much this way. Oh, I scratched my nose, they think I'm picking my nose, and stuff like that, than actually paying attention. Because I think it distracts a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, now the question of the night. If you were stuck on a desert island, not a desert island. That'd be interesting being stuck on a desert island.
I love that.
But if you were stuck on a desert island, what would you want to have with you?
The necessities.
What are the necessities?
Food and water and shelter. Like, even if it's just like some sort of tent, but there's a bunch of stuff, there's ways to like get different things so I can almost, if it's like Ark Survival. Like, if only I could do that. That'd be fun. That's a movie I'd watch.
So what?
It's the Ark Survival movie.
So what would you want to have with you? Company? For one. I know that's kind of selfish, that I wouldn't want to be stranded alone. I'd want somebody to be stranded with me. But company. I would want a teleporter. Because then I wouldn't be stuck anymore, right? Well, they haven't invented teleporters yet, so we can't really go with that. If I was stuck on a desert island, I'd want a motorboat with probably 10 gallons of gas. Or not 10 gallons, 10 canisters of extra gas. And then try to find my way
I'm no longer stranded.
back where they're no longer stranded.
Do you know where Utah is? Ends up in like Asia.
Right?
Am I in North America still?
Somehow we'd find our way, right?
If we were stranded on a desert island,
Mm-hmm.
so like a desert island, Utah.
It says desert island, doesn't say deserted island. So I mean, it could just be
people?
a desert island.
That'd be cool. Like a little desert island, but there's like this little village of people
where you could get everything you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Boom.
No, but to be realistic, yeah, having enough food, water,
someone, because
somebody
I'd go
with
crazy.
me.
I'd go crazy if I was by myself, because I can't stand being by myself. Sometimes I get like, this is fine. When my parents are like at the store, and it's like, I'm the only one home.
And we go to the store for a half hour, and we have 40 missed calls from him, and I'm like, wow, you're calling us more than one time a minute. A sharp tool. So, water, food, at least food for the first little bit, a sharp tool.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I mean, it'd be nice to have shelter and extra clothes and everything, but if I had to limit it down, I think that would be a necessity, is to be able to start to be able to create some of those things that you don't have.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's hope we don't get stuck on a deserted island or a desert island.
That would be not fun. But hey, the zombie apocalypse happens. If it's a deserted island, how are they supposed to get to the river? How are they supposed to get to you?
Stay unaffected.
That was an English class question. It was, what would you do in a zombie apocalypse? And it was to some other person. And I had, what would you do if you were stuck on a deserted island also? And I was like, well, I'd build shelters, stay there, had food, like, try to find food, and just chill, have my best life. But, then they were talking about how, like, what would you do in a zombie apocalypse? And some people were, like, answering also. So I said, you know what? I wouldn't have to deal with the zombie apocalypse because I'm on my deserted island.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, sucks to be you guys.
Right? I never thought about it that way. You're protected from, I was going to say from humanity, but protected from the fall of humanity.
And again, Navy zombies. We'll leave that for next time.
Right? Zombie mermaids.
Coming to you theaters. 2020. Wait, not 2020. 2020.
2020. The Little Zombie Mermaid.
Disney's were tall.
When you thought the waters were safe. Join us next time for a sneak peek. And have a great day.
Thank you.